for us to survive is we need to act of warrior. Otherwise, we became nothing and no one. He gone in front, took in my place. Firefight going on and, die in front of my hand, my own palm. There is no life and death. Once we have that mind of focus and dedication, devotion as a true warrior and true warrior monk, we need to survive here. We need to fight. Regardless of who we are and what we have, doesn't really matter if you are dead.
Over the last few years, I've searched for the true definition of a warrior monk. Today, I think I found it. An SAS soldier who was also a monk in the mountains of Nepal. This story is about Krishna.
Sampurna Drisva. Thank you.
Today's video, as always, is powered by Huel. These documentaries wouldn't be possible without their support. Find out more with the link down below.
I'm Chris Thapa, and born in Nepal, about in Annapurna region, and just normal kids, born in remote part of Himalayas. There is no any, let's say modern comfort, still today in my village. I haven't seen any transport before I joined the Gurkhas, and there is no health post. Pretty much run around in jungle, living and farming. Very authentic. Yeah, it's, inquisitive mind as a kid's grown up, not knowing what is out there in the modern world. Yeah, and I asked my mom, what is that? And she looked at me and she didn't have an answer. And also neither I, like I say, not aware. Even, I only seen the, and obviously first time flew was when I was, flying from Nepal to the London as a Gurkha. So before that, yeah, everything was mystery in a way. Being a first son in my culture in the foothill of Himalayas is, we almost like given, birth given. The first son is responsible for the spiritual side. And from, I don't even know, in my conscious mind, I was, honed into and then, built into the worship, as a, first of all, we start from the house. And then once you became, or good at it, then you will represent the tribe. And I have about 20 houses, and my tribe is Hunching Magar. And this is the tribe, then I represent the tribe is 9 and 10. From there, then maybe, 10 to, before I joined the Gurkhas, 19. Then I represent the whole village, and we call the Tanimai. Tanimai is, Tan is a place, and Mai is a love, the place for love or place of origin. And that's where we worship the Shiva and then the Buddha, in the dialect translation. So that's, and then I kind of became the head of the tribe for the worshipping and pujari before I joined the Gurkha. Anything can be a cause, and anything can be your desire and dream. It's all about how we put ourselves in it, all how to recognize that. Of course, it was, like in a way, it's my parents' dream, for me to become a Gurkhas, and before I even born. But I think that it's a life when that's what we call the bhakti. Bhakti is an energy form, which is a commitment and devotion. But when our own desire and dream is bigger than who we are. For in this case, I think once I realized my parents are my everything, my ancestor, believe it or not, now today, still now, I got 6 family in one house in Nepal. It's my responsibility. I took this responsibility, but responsibility is bigger than myself. I think that will give us the true value and the workmanship, the craft we have to do. It's definitely one of the toughest as for the human being. I think for the adult, true human being, for physically and mentally, I think it's toughest thing in the whole world. Why and how I been fortunate, to serve and to do the selection and serve with the best in the world is, if it wasn't for my commanders, if it wasn't my devotion and love and compassion for the true soldier, I wouldn't be here. First thing is my commander, the British officer. I think as a commander, he see beyond myself. I think he see the true potential on me, and he put his name, Chris can do it. And I never would have understood in that level if it wasn't for him and he's choosing for me to, you can do it. I think second thing is from my side is definitely because even though I wasn't academic and I wasn't, I always think I wasn't good enough because we know the SAS were the best in the world. But I think I did it because as orders, as my commander said, as my parents said, I will be a Gurkhas. In a ways, he was my mentor and he was my parents. Everyone in this whole universe, every situation have a limitation. But it's up to us to define our boundaries and limitation and willing to take next step, and that whatever situation will allow us, that you and you only make or live or make a decision maker. I think sometime when ourselves in doubt, sometime when we ourselves is in the unsure, then I think we need to have a hope and faith. We need to have a connection beyond our physical and mental boundaries. I think this is the reason my Gurkha officer OC said, right, Chris, we're gonna send. I have no ability to make that decision and put myself there because I trust on him, because I was obeying his order. Then I was able to make a change and achieve my dream. And when I pass the selection, it is very interesting. I think I would say I choose the mountain because I'm from Nepal. I think I will be good at mountain. But when I first time come to the office, and there's like Chris, and he's now one of my best friend. He was my first commander, and he's like, welcome. And it's like, oh, can you ski? No. Can you climb? No. Can you do ice climb? No. And why the hell you choose mountain troop then? It's just like, oh, I'm from Nepal. I thought I'm good at mountain. So it's actually no. But the thing is, like I said, we got this infill skills to master and became good at this element. So I choose the mountain. I was again very fortunate. I was straight away, he find it my weakness. If you want to survive here and not going back to the Gurkhas, you better do training on them. I said, like, you know what? I did it, and it's hard, obviously, but I think it's also in a life, a lot of us deemed to not to recognize our weakness and not to accept our weakness. The greatest thing is to recognize early through the meditation, or some of your teacher or some of your master or your parents are able to tell you, and then we should do more work for that in order to be strength. And then over the career, I became obviously mountain kind of trooper and mountain expedition leader. Yeah. So we are obviously the leading a fixing rope of finding the routes, and still now modern world, the whole earth is pretty much all the different terrain we have to tackle is pretty much like mountain. And if you look at the conflict now, there's a lot of mountain, snow and rock. So our role is to make, conquer in safely, first of all, not ourselves, but we have to make safe ourselves and our comrades, the people working with us, the supporters, everyone. The mountain troop job is make sure we need to identify the danger of the mountain. We need to understand the snow. We need to understand the altitude. We need to understand the way the rock form, so that we can have a perspective, better perspective, deeper perspective of the roots of the challenging, of the situation, like the subjective and the objective danger. This is only can be understood when you have a deeper understanding and understanding the condition, the who we are, the environment. So our job is to, whatever throw us, the situation, life or death, or any situation. So as a mountain troop, we will be leading, fixing, finding, and resolving and saving life. In terms of physical, the first phase, that's so much light, life changing physically and mentally. But the second phase is jungle in Borneo, and we fly, land at 3 a.m. in January in here. And we land there, it's about 40 degrees in Borneo. And because in my mind, because I was a Gurkha, I born in jungle, and this is kind of my areas of export. My God, I was wrong. And I went there and the first run was about 20 of us in the group. And there was the DS, the instructor, the SAS instructor said, right, I just need a 6. And I was looking around, when you're running, looking around, and then no one goes down. Eventually you are the one feeling, fatigue, and you're feeling a little bit, going down. Oh my God, it's so hard. And, the worst case is also I was learned the human power. I see the guys, running 40 degrees fell down, and DS comments oh, stop. And I look, and it's how many finger? 2 finger. It's oh, he's fine. And we keep continue running. And I think this, the mental and physical power of human is not what we think. It's next level. And we don't leave that comfort area. I think as a true human, I think that's why the physical challenge and mental challenge is I think we are definitely need to put ourselves up front there to go and have a hope and a faith to step in. So that is one of the true realization. And also nothing goes as planned. Like I say, when I turn up in the Borneo, I think I'm gonna do well. But first day I was shocked and I was shattered. And then it's only whatever I believe, if the fail, then only the hope and the faith is that something beyond ourselves. Dreaming for me is dreaming I want to keep the legacy of my blood lost grandfather. I want to live the dream of my grandmother. And that is when you sit down and reflect, and almost we forget who we are. So one of the incident was this is live in jumping in Afghanistan. So we were following following the target for a month, and because they are so good and they're able to deceive, day and night, and it's very hard to follow. And then we were one of the first team to jump in war in Afghanistan with 20 of us, whatever 30,000 feet. And the briefing was, because of this environment, we have to land in restricted area, like 100 meter. It's night time, pitch black, thousands of feet with everything. And the briefing was from our commander is, you're going to have to land in this area. The minute you step out from the area, You will gone with the IED, and like they will just capture you, and you basically gone dead. And then we normally have a couple of hours to like digest, and everyone is like, regardless of who we are, I think we all are living creatures. People think you are strong, you are weak. Of course you can build a certain level of resilience, the training you do, the people you are surrounding, but when it comes to the death, no one is proof. It's a dead end. It's end of the life, and it is the written in the whatever in a physical form. And when we face that, everyone will have to think. That is regardless. I think for me, whenever this kind of briefing I had to the mission, everyone will silence anyway. No one actually talk. Very interesting, and everyone will like go and then do their thing and whatever. But for me, I remember going back to my room and just sit down and meditate. Sit down and meditate for hours and hours. And this meditation is for me is normally whatever mission I'm doing, but this mission was me jumping out, flying, and death. I'm dying in front of my friend, and how my family does react. How is my friend pull my dead body and put in the bag, and then and seeing my own families and parents and dying son, and how I feel as a dead body. These are the process of kind of my reflection. Then I might open eyes. It's like, here I am and sitting in room, and then what is true genuine about the meditation and the ancient way of Vedic teaching is, because the more meditation we do, more scenario we create in our own mind. Whenever I'm actually doing it, I'm in more control. See, my body and mind this is normal. It's not so serious because I have seen this one, I've done this one. The field of feeling, the pran, like I said, the energy that drove the oxygen, air, water, the pran, the energy is the one create against and for, is the one who create the suffering, is the seed of what the thought create within us. But that same seed has experience of creating that before, then it's very easy to monitor second time. What I mean is, whenever I'm real jumping on the train, of course, for my physical form was first time, but my mental, my spiritual, it's many, many times. So I can comprehend and overcome my feeling and anxiety and depression and deal with that. So this is probably the beauty of ancient and meditation, and because you create the feel within you, you can do it because you've seen the worst already. Yeah. So and then when you are actually jumping, it's just like, oh, of course still be a danger, but what I mean is you can compile in understanding and put it in a perspective and a reflection in better than first time. One of the great secrets of the our regiment or special forces is this. Maybe we a lot of people sees on outside is like how good they are, but no one knows the process they're going through. No one knows their culture and their strength and their weakness and the team building, the hours of best case scenario, worst case scenario. It's I think I find so unique the culture. No one is dominating, to present you, to present who you are, but they're welcoming. He almost like completely opposite to the lot of other environment we are living in, or the culture of the school college or education or the job, I think I was fascinating, because whenever we walk in a team, my friends over my decades are same, mix, but also when we talk, we share, we fight, we drink, we laugh, and the way of energy and the communication flow, you cannot be you cannot taught with the textbook. I think you cannot teach with the intellectual mind. I think it come from the experience over the 100 years of fight, 100 years of laugh, 100 years of drink, 100 years of that culture is so unique. I think I hardly compare anywhere else. The comradability, the life you have, the fun you have, and also the death, also the grief. I think in the world, especially in the modern world we live in, no one talk about the death. No one wants to comprehend about the bad thing. They always focus, we need to positive. But actually we're missing the life. Life is not like that. Life is a death. The more we mix, everything together, and that we say more we mixed our sense, that only with the sense and became the sixth or seventh sense, which became the true, strength. But actually what we see, what we believe is you give you the ability to survive now, but actually what give you to continue and sustainability is beyond it. That is the what culture and understanding and trust. And people, when you go inside the building, when the round is coming from 360s, and still you are able to turn face and show your back to someone else. You are surviving and living your life someone else's hand. That trust and understanding life and death and life. I don't think any culture, any unique experience. I think that truly is a uniqueness, and I don't think anyone can master that and find that space of trust and loyalty. One of the experience I had was in the Iraq, and in the wartime, obviously we weren't going through the building. Anyway, mission was mission to achieve the mission. But when we going inside, we thought there would be just 5 or 6, bad guys, but actually there is 20 of them. Then what with my commander was said is like, Chris, it's beyond what we thought. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, call the missile, which is like air missile, and it's like, can you look into this one? And I was anyway, as something has to done, it is protect our comrades, our community, and our country, that people are doing the supplying the weapon ammunition for the other people. This is the reason we are there. And we in this modern world, they got in all these gadgets, like you just tap in the rigs and you can see where the mist coming. You can tap, just push, put the grid, everything, all this AI. And we kind of, mission achieved and everything perfectly fine. And I come back, then I did meditation, then I did reflex. Then what I think is, here come the most scientific AI driven, the missile is from apparently flying from thousands of miles away. Can't hear, can't see, but you are on the ground. This is me, boy born in Nepal, with no education, no understanding of anything. Then I have the power to destroy the humanity, or then I have the power to, act on only through my conscious being. Yeah. So regardless, I think the importance of the conscious human being, the importance of the evolved human being truly come from human, a person. And then I did what is right is only come from conscious mind. And I did the mission I happily done, which is the true thing to do. But what I mean is, if myself wasn't evolved in a true conscious manner, I would have destroyed the other people. I would have destroyed other life, which is no need to do. For us to make a right call, for us to make a right, who is going to live, who's going to die, who's going to do the right mission in a right, versatile way, understanding situation has to come from the true being. And only true being can be observed and can be detained information through the meditation, through understanding the love, compassion, and through who truly we are. Then we shall and we will and we could make a true call on the ground. We before we speak, why the actually SAS so closer with the ancient well-being or the energy form? Because we see the flag here. All the flags are elements, 5 elements, isn't it? Like earth, space, air, water, and regiment SAS is the same. Either you believe or not, isn't it? The air is specialist, the water is specialist, land is specialist, and mountain is specialist. Yeah, no one actually talk about this thing, and that means they master the elements of the human life. They master the energy in different level. The Gurkha selection is possibly, I would say, is one of the toughest selection, especially you are young, 17, 18 years old, almost like you are, kids, teenager, wanted to be, something else, but you don't have clue. But then tested in a high level of physical, and then some of the tests are, we have to do the 12-time pull-up, a 17, 18 years old kid, and we have to run about 6 or 7 kilometers uphill. The starting is uphill. And then the process is we carry the, we call the doko, and which is a bamboo made basket, goes on your head. And I still have the frame of the bamboos on my forehead. Like when I put the arms, I still feel there. And then the rest is so tough. There is no time, Time doesn't exist, because only thing is either you first, second, third. And either you are at best or nothing. And when you are in that situation, time and space, and it doesn't really matter. What matter most is just your performance and your driven and the focus. So this thing, and the next one is, the sit-up. There's a lot of almost 6 month plus process, but these 3 tests is so demanding and challenging. First thing is doko rest, the bamboo rest. You just line up, carrying on the forehead, and then just go and run for the life. There is nothing here apart from there, because so much, thing you are living for yourself, your own dream and desire as young kids, and you're living for your parents' dream. And also, as a young boy from mountain, to be able to come to the, UK and serve for the, legacy of the 100 years of our, grandfathers, everyone, be part of that, the built up value. Obviously, I think I fell first time, and that was devastating. You almost you not only destroy your own life in a way, not only your desire and dream, but also the society, the legacy of my ancestor, my grandparents, and my own father dream. That was pretty tough, going back to the forest in Annapurna, and after failing, almost like we became, hopeless. A lot of people talk about the physical, and if you not have a mind, driven, but actually, when your physical give up, mind, they might be thinking so much thing, but physical is mentally it's hard to grasp that, isn't it? I think this is where my realization is, whatever we do in life, and there has to be, the hook has to be outside us. If something is only me and my driven, then if myself, physical and mental, is in a ditch or dark place, it's hard to see the light, and light has to come from outside. With our dream and desire and ambition has to, not for only today, it's not only for tomorrow, it has to be the generation. It has to be focused for our forthcoming children. How can we give them a better life? Not only, physical comfort, but also place for the mind, where they can go inside, feel safe, feel comfort, and bring the true color of humanity.
You pass and then you come to the UK. What was that experience like?
Oh man, that was, the first thing, that was the first time I cried, but cry with the, the sensation of, joy, and, the dream, and I had for many generations, all the dream for my father. And very exciting. But, at the same time, I think I definitely realized first time when I see the bacon and sausage, I couldn't believe people actually survive with the bacon and toast, and I couldn't eat. And I genuinely think how the people can live, but in those days, but a lot of, food and cultural shock, and we have to, GARC has been great. They've been giving us, feeding us, and we do a lot of interaction with the, going to the, society, how we need to dress up. We need to eat with the, knife and fork. We need to go to the toilet. Never seen this toilet like this one. We always have a natural outside toilet, and almost like learning, but fast learning, But also, I think as a grown-up kids, we always have this value of the, culture and society. Definitely food culture, language is the biggest barrier. I couldn't speak, like, let's be honest, I practiced for maybe about 1 year when I failed for the next year. And one of the reasons I also failed was my education. And I wrote one paragraph, for my interview and said, my name is Krishna Thapa, and I want to join the British Gurkha, because I want to keep my legacy of my parents and my ancestor dream, and also to, support their financial wish. For this 3 line, I practiced for 1 year. My grandmother, which is, my inspiring, my first wake up conscious mind was, she was chanting and a singing bowl in Himalayas. And obviously, when I came to UK, first picture, and we send, I send with, with the Gurkha dress, proper military dress, and we send to my grandmother, and apparently she said to my father, she said, oh, my grandson Krishna is laughing. Now my generation will never be a poor and never be a sufferer again. But sadly, once I joined the Gurkha, she died, and I couldn't able to meet her personally. But when I went back, and my father said, she look at this photo you sent her, and she said, now no one will be suffering like her ever again. And I think I truly live by that dream. And I every morning go outside, have a water in a small glass, and I will dedicate it this time and moment, to her and the legacy. And I will work for every last breath to keep that legacy who we are. My life was a Gurkha. My life is a soldier. There's nothing was, obstructing and distracting me. There is no life and death, Once we have that mind of focus and dedication, devotion, it doesn't really matter, what is outcome, because you are into the moment. You are moment of service and dedication, not only for yourself or ourselves, but this is for the truly believe, your parents, the dream, the family, and also the family that gave us the reason to leave the house. The reason we left. Every single soldier or the service, any kind of service, everyone in a service in a way. If you have that devotion and love and kindness, the reason we leave the house is what we left behind. It's not the reason you go there. I think that's why the country that hold the family and friends safe, the family who hold our hearts and mind, is the reason we do our service. Once I left the carcass, then in the regiment, and long after the service, like I say, the trigger for me was the, so many incidents, but one of the great incident is when, someone giving the life for you, then it's ultimate sacrifice someone does who you are. But then it's not the act of someone else did whatever they do, with their intention and desire and dream. But the question, the impact for us is what we perceive, the way we perceive. And that is the hard to deal and hard to swallow. And my true feeling was that am I living my life? Or am I living someone else's life? Is this what they call enlightenment? Is this called what the ultimate life-changing experience? And is this the moment in life junction, or either you go this way or that way? It's a lot of things. And then if you truly realize, then we are in doubt as well, and for me it's this moment when the British, SAS guy stepped up for me through the door, and he gone in front, took in my place, firefight going on, and die in front of my hand, my own palm. Then you look at them, oh my God, and then almost change the whole scenario, what we believe, what we see, what we hear. It's not a truth. Truth is action, and that we learn from the modern world. So many people call, you are from here, you are from there, you looks this, you looks that. But actually, when it comes to the life and death, and when it comes to the true ultimate sacrifice, who we are in the flesh body, it doesn't really matter. What matters is who gave the ultimate service for you to live here today, and who gave their life commitment and dedication for us to walk here safely, and for us to leave a legacy. How can we change the way of generation to come, to protect and to sustain longer as a true, warrior and true warrior monk? I think that's why I said we need to survive here. We need to fight, without, regardless of who we are and what we have, doesn't really matter if you are dead. For us to survive is we need to act of warrior. Otherwise we became nothing and no one. This is the world. The evils and the heroes are here. What needs to be done, we have to do it, in a proper warrior, soldier manner, because again, the whole world is chaos. I think but yet again, no matter what, we have to live here. This is the world we created. Either we liked it, not like. But in order to live the true genuinity and true humanity, we need to stand up and fight. We as a life is to evolve, is to realize, not with avoiding anything, with confronting, and to face challenge, and to, take a challenge, be a warrior with a conscious mindset, and reflect and evolve with thoughtful and realization. In a couple of years' time, there will be no human left in this earth. What that means is, in Himalayas, we said, for the mother and for the generation to survive, now the youngster has to face the war. If we're not facing whatever is right now, eventually next generation will have to face even worse. Isn't it? What I mean, that's why sometimes I'm not against the, my own ancient healing or the monk side, because in a way, this ancient wisdom is like 1,000 years old. They started 1,000 years old because that time was perfect. There is no war. There is no, they didn't have to face this situation, the situation we're facing now. We can't live the 1,000 years ago principle, which is they didn't experience this world. I think that's why, for me, what is important today is that if we only have the peace and kindful and joy, there will be no UK tomorrow. There will be no home for tomorrow. We can't walk freely and peacefully in the street. We can't drive. World will be chaos and we will be overtaken by someone else. Then life will be hell. If we don't stand now and today, the next generation will even more harder for to survive. That's the world we're living. I think that's why we need to show and stand first to survive. Then we can only survive the next generation.
Thank you so much for watching this documentary with Krish. He was absolutely incredible and the true definition of a warrior monk, an SAS soldier, but also a spiritual leader in the mountains of Nepal. I've been speaking to Krish and we will be venturing to Nepal early next year to shoot a 6-part series and a documentary for you guys to deliver on this channel. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe. And all of this would not be possible without our sponsors, Huel.
If you're like me and millions of other people, you probably lead a busy life, and that's where this stuff comes in absolutely clutch. I know that I just scoop, shake and go, and I'm ready for my day. There are other companies that are trying to do what Huel is trying to do, but they use cheap ingredients. Sometimes it requires you to take 15 pills, or preparing food, trusting supplements with subpar ingredients, and also taking 15 pills a day is just something that we don't all want to do. That's where Huel makes health possible. Black Edition has 40 grams of protein in, 26 vitamins and minerals, and every single ingredient inside this has been carefully selected by Huel's expert team. So you know you're getting the good stuff. Don't just take my word for it. Millions of other people around the world are now using Huel as part of their daily routine. People like Idris Elba, Stephen Bartlett from the Diary of a CEO, Hardest Geezer, the man who ran the entire length of Africa, was using this stuff. If you want to join the movement, go to the link down below where you can get a free t-shirt, a free shaker, and also if you subscribe to Huel, you can get 10% off every single order. This is next freaking level. Go get some.